The tree stopped growing. Clouds swept in, drenching the land in darkness. Slowly, Sophie peeked down at the wizard tree. A stump of life rooted in the ruins of Ralph. She couldn't see Robin or Bettina or the boys. She couldn't see anyone. How am I alive? Am I alive? Wind slashed through, shaking Sophie's branch, nearly blowing her off it. Yeah, I'm alive. She wouldn't last long up there, nor was her dress any protection against the chill. The ghosts of Evelyn Setter useless when she needed her most. Shivering violently, Sophie started to descend, but the gusts were too strong. Her foot slid and she plunged onto the next branch, which snapped under her, leaving her gripping on to a silver of wood with a single fist. Reaching her toes for the next limb down, she slowly lowered herself, but new gusts assaulted her, tossing her against the branch. Her head tipped over it, her feet kicking in mid-air. From the inside of her dress, she saw the pearl with Merlin's beard slip out. Sophie yet, frowning for it, but she toppled harder, about to fall out of the tree. She had to choose. Sophie grabbed it onto the branch. The pearl fell. The tournament's first test. Tetsu's only hope. Down, 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 into the darkness. And then, the pearl started floating back up, shielded in sparkly green dust. A small pale hand caught it, coated in the same green dust. Agatha, Sophie breathed. Slowly, her best friend landed on Sophie's mouth, shimmering like a phantom. Tears spun to Sophie's eye. Are you Will? Agatha pressed her hand to Sophie's cheek, warm and soft. But how? Sophie choked it. A grumpy, green-dressed fairy popped out of Agatha's hair, flinging a spritz of fairy dust into the air as if to make it clear whose magic was responsible. Agatha raised the pearl into the moonlight, inspecting Merlin's beard. She smiled with relief at her friend. Quite a team, you and me. Gobsmacked, Sophie glanced around. No tattoos, no hearts, no boys, just her and Agatha high in a tree. The way they once were, atop an oak in Gotherden, before a steam arrived and kidnapped them into the woods. It was on a branch, just like this, that they had their final moments together before everything changed. And suddenly, Sophie understood. That flower she had opened. Sophie and Agatha. Agatha and Sophie. This was it. The tree had given her what she wanted. Back to two girls. Back to the beginning. The way they used to be. The true way out. Two girls stared into each other's eyes, suffering this ever after, waiting for the historian to write it, waiting for the pen to make it real. But man isn't pen. Not yet. Think about let out a scream of warning. Both girls reached for the other, as if to hold on to the moment. But time was up. Their beginning had come to an end. Tetris, Pride and Prince. You sure your girlfriend isn't a crabpot? Horseman with growth, pacing in the dark forest. Tetris ignored him as he tried to work Merlin to sleep. Consider the evidence, Hawes went on. First, she says Robin Hood left her a message in magic dust at the Arrow, a message no one else saw. Then she says Merlin appeared to her and told her to come to Pussy. Both sound pretty crackpots to me. Through the thicket, Theodose glimpsed the wizardry in the distance, rising high above the land. Movements flickered in its branches, but they were too far away to see more. Pussy was a well-armed city. The shock of a wizardry bursting out of the bank would bring the bank's guards and the Empress flying minions. Theodore's stomach nodded, the baby fussing with his sons. He shouldn't have let Agatha go off alone. You're worrying if she's wrong. I'm worried if she's right, the prince returned, so focused on the tree he didn't notice Merlin squiggling out of his arms. What if the answer was in Pussy all along? The prey we find is before the snake, Hawes said, rescuing Merlin into his paws before the baby slid. Whoever wins the first test gets the head starts for the second, and if the snake gets too far ahead, wind echoed through the trees, finishing Hawes' thoughts. Theodose watched the team cradle Merlin into his dark fur, the baby's eyes starting to close. How could I be so stupid? Theodose thought. His dad wouldn't have expected him to track down the wizard in his old age and lop off his beard, especially after Arthur and Merlin had gone their separate ways. For all his father knew, Merlin would have been long dead, and yet Theodose had done what he had always done, made assumptions without thinking. Agatha was right. The beard was here in Pussy. Only he had come to this realization too late, which means his first test was no longer up to him. It was up to her. Agatha, who was out there right now, fighting Theodore's battle, all on her own. And here Theodose was, twiddling his thumbs, just like he had at Camelot when Agatha observed his quest the first time. Long before there was a King Wyatt or King Japheth, there was a mastered attacker, daring Theodose to come fight him. But it had been Agatha who answered the call instead of Theodose, the prince willing to stay behind. The mistake that started it all.